because one of the players was a ringer who would take Cole's winnings. The group immediately decided to thwart the plans. Dwight visited the watchmaker's store and, after some teasing about a watch repair, Dwight broke through to make an offer. It turned out that the watchmaker was, in fact, a professional watchmaker. He instructed Deacon to check his name to find out who was extending the offer. After Tyler won and threw everything off, the team quickly surrounded the ringer in the bingo hall, forcing Cole to pay him. When Cleo was caught blatantly stealing merchandise from a convenience store and complicit, Mitch became enraged. In their bizarre reunion, Dwight persuaded Musso to acknowledge that the dispute with Deacon was private and not authorized by the FBI. Mitch discovered too late that Cleo was tearing up the lawn of the Dunmire Manor while driving there, then confronting Dunmire to swear vengeance. One stripper offered Tyson a private dance as the rest of the group celebrated and spent Cole's money at a strip club. Serenity, the woman, talked about how she wanted to leave Tulsa, and Tyson was impacted by her words even as she performed a dance that neither of them really wanted. Cole's arrival with a gun cut short the dance. In summary, Cleo's impetuous behavior prevented them from ever working out, and Mitch wasn't willing to let that derail this new endeavor. Tyson refused to talk and was beaten by Cole and his thugs to learn where the special whiskey was kept. With a countdown and the introduction of Serenity, Cole played hardball. The show then went to Tyson escorting them into the distillery vault. Cole ordered his thugs to shoot Tyson, who was being held in the trunk, but Tyson was shielded by the thick hide of the Cybertruck. Dwight and Margaret discussed how Dwight needed political support and that he needed to find another ally if Thresher ended up losing. Dwight growled, "Dunmire won't," while Tyson responded, "I'll live," when Bigfoot called to inform him that the bourbon was completely gone. This makes Season 3 more thrilling because Dwight now has to deal with Dunmire's thievery while also wondering what game Musso is playing. The stainless steel Cybertruck's resistance to 9mm bullets is the only reason Tyson is still alive, which is true, by the way. With a sick, racially motivated joy, Cole's men were more than delighted to fire those weapons, creating an unprecedented opportunity for overt prejudice to be displayed against Tyson. This creates a completely different dynamic for his persona, one that should be more beneficial than detrimental. With the Dunmires now in possession of all of Montague's supplies, which are valued at tens of millions, the upcoming Tulsa King episode might spark a conflict that could result in a carnage. With so many factors and characters in play after Tulsa King took the characters on a number of road trips, but Dwight's plans were seriously thwarted by the G and the OG. When Dwight got to the distillery, he told the group that they needed to know their enemy and take care not to make any mistakes. Musso called him and said that a car was on its way to pick Dwight up and that he wasn't going to take no for an answer. When Dwight discovered he was in a car without a driver and rap music was playing, he was not pleased and shot a bullet into the screen, almost deafening him. Musso told Dwight that he wanted Dwight to kill a freelance killer whom he publicly referred to as a terrorist as he was driving him. Dwight was therefore on his way to Texas. Thugs and guns, you'll blend in perfectly. Since Tyson believed they should obtain intelligence on their adversaries, the other members of the crew grumbled about Dwight's absence. Musso mentioned Armand's absence, pointing out that Dwight claimed the man was in Colorado with his family. Which seems to make Musso laugh. Dwight was being sent after bomb maker Hector Deacon, also known as the Watchmaker, Musso clarified. Since Deacon was too intelligent to be duped by an undercover agent, a real criminal like Dwight could approach him and try to deceive him into a bargain. Musso said that Dwight always kept poking the bear, but a police officer eventually stopped them. In order to explain why everyone was concerned about her, Mitch located Cleo at the pub. He gave her his vintage car so she could take an enjoyable ride, which made her feel better. Musso was going to receive a ticket on a less enjoyable journey when Dwight used his people skills to urge them to stop by making some scathing remarks about Musso's bed prowess. In addition to squabbling about who was the organization's number 2, Tyson, Bodie, and Grace were spying on Cole while riding in a Cybertruck, the worst car to try to follow someone in. Cole was calling numbers for the senior players in a bingo hall when the Three Musketeers followed him to a warehouse. After Cleo expressed her concerns about trusting Dwight, Mitch insisted that Dwight was a fine man, really, and Cleo made the decision to drive them. Joanne was asking Bigfoot about Dwight when Armand's wife, Clara, arrived to inquire about her missing husband. Dwight and Musso discussed